Just a quick message. This clip you're about to watch on my Stop Retiring Wrong channel are my words and books and educational events, but they're filtered through AI. But I am real, and my clients and their issues are very real, and my research is not AI. And I want to be very transparent with you as you take advantage of this only psychotherapist curated tool available that intersects fulfillment and finances and reframes the second half of your life into something that truly our parents and our grandparents never could even have imagined. So congratulations.
You thought retirement would feel free, but it feels like losing direction before we begin. I want to share an important note. I am a licensed therapist. Any stories, examples, or scenarios shared in this video are generalized or composite representations designed to protect privacy and confidentiality. They are not intended to depict any specific client or individual. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and explores common psychological and life challenges associated with retirement. As a mental health professional, I adhere to all ethical and legal standards regarding confidentiality. This content is not intended as individualized mental health, legal, or financial advice. Stop me if this sounds familiar. You worked your whole life for freedom, and now that you have it, it doesn't feel like freedom at all. It feels like losing your direction, losing your identity, losing the version of yourself you spent decades building. Here's the truth nobody says at retirement parties. The hardest part of retirement was never the money. It was always the mirror. Stay with me, because what comes next changes everything. The lie you were told about freedom. Before we go any further, I need to ask you something honest. When you picture retirement, really pictured it, what did you see? Sleeping in? Traveling? Golf? Long mornings with coffee and no alarm clock? No boss, no deadlines, no one pulling at your attention? That picture. That beautiful, golden, well-earned picture of freedom. Where did it come from? Because here's the uncomfortable truth nobody says at retirement parties. That picture was sold to you by financial advisors, by insurance commercials, by a culture that treats retirement like a product to be purchased rather than a phase of life to be navigated. And the cruelest part of that lie? It works perfectly right up until the moment it doesn't. The first week of retirement feels exactly like a brochure. You sleep, you rest, you exhale for what feels like the first time in years. You think this is it. This is what I worked for. Then week 3 arrives, and the exhale starts to feel less like relief and more like emptiness. The freedom that felt like a gift starts to feel like a room with no furniture. Open, spacious, and completely, eerily, uncomfortably quiet. Here's what nobody tells you: freedom without direction is not liberation. It is loneliness with better lighting. And that realization, usually quiet, usually slow, usually somewhere around month 2, is where the real retirement story begins. Why your brain physically rebels against retirement. Now here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. And a little bit frightening. Your brain, the same brain that got you through 40 years of deadlines and decisions and pressure, does not know how to retire. Literally. Neurologically. It does not know how. Here's why. For decades, your brain operated inside a system. Alarm goes off, routine begins, problems arise, solutions get made, dopamine gets released, day ends, repeat. That cycle, problem, solution, reward is not just a work habit. It's a neurological groove worn deep into your brain's reward system. It's how your brain learned to feel competent, useful, alive. When retirement removes that cycle, your brain doesn't quietly accept it. It panics. And here's something even more striking. Studies on retirees show that cognitive decline accelerates fastest in the first 2 years after retirement, particularly in people who don't replace structured mental engagement. The brain, deprived of its usual demands, starts to drift. Memory gets foggy, focus gets harder. Motivation disappears for reasons that make no logical sense. And people assume it's age. They assume it's just what getting older feels like. But here's the question I want you to ask yourself right now. What if it's not age? What if it's direction? What if the brain isn't declining because you're older, but because it no longer has anywhere important to go? That question changes everything. Because if direction is the variable, then direction is also the solution. The identity trap that swallows people whole. Let's go somewhere a little darker for a moment. Because this is where the real danger lives. Most people, and I mean most, not some, not a few, built their entire identity around their career without realizing they were doing it. It happened gradually, quietly, over decades of answering the question, what do you do? With the same answer. Over years of introductions at parties, business cards, email signatures, LinkedIn profiles. Over a lifetime of measuring your worth by your output, your title, your rank. While you were working, the identity felt like strength, confidence, certainty. You knew who you were because the world kept reminding you. Every morning, the role was waiting. Every week, the performance. Every year, the review. Then retirement removes all of it at once. And what's left behind is not freedom. It's a question, a terrifying, echoing, middle-of-the-night question. If I'm not the job anymore, then what am I? Some people answer that question with hobbies. Some answer it with grandchildren. Some answer it with travel. And some people, more than we ever talked about, never answer it at all. They drift. They shrink. They spend their retirement a year slowly disappearing into a version of themselves that feels smaller, quieter, and less alive than the person they used to be. And nobody at the farewell party warned them. Because nobody knew. The dangerous myth of I'll figure it out later. This is the point in the conversation where I need to be direct with you. Because this particular myth has cost people years of their lives. The myth goes like this: I'll spend my career focused on work and figure out who I am in retirement. I'll have time then. It sounds reasonable. It sounds patient. It sounds like wisdom. It is one of the most expensive mistakes a person can make. Here's the reality: retirement does not give you clarity. It gives you time. And time without clarity is not a gift, it is a pressure cooker. The people who arrive at retirement already knowing who they are outside of work, who has invested in identity beyond the job title, who have built relationships and passions and commitments that exist independently of their career, those people thrive. The people who plan to figure it out later, they spend years circling the same question that would have taken months to answer if they'd started earlier. And here's the sharpest question of this entire video. What are you doing right now today, this year, to build a version of yourself that doesn't need the job to feel whole? Not when you retire, now. Because direction doesn't appear on the day you need it. Direction is built slowly, intentionally, year by year long before the day the office door closes behind you. How to find direction again when it feels completely gone. Alright, we've gone deep into the darkness. Now let's talk about the way through. Because there is a way through, and the people who find it share something remarkably consistent in how they do it. They stopped asking, what should I do with my time? And started asking a completely different question: what do I want to matter for now? Not what you mattered for at work, not what your title said about you, not what your salary confirmed about your worth. What do you want to matter for to real people, in real ways, with the real time you have left? That question has power because it bypasses the identity crisis entirely. It doesn't ask you to figure out who you are. It asks you what direction you want to move in. And movement, even imperfect, uncertain movement, is infinitely better than standing still in a fog. Here is what actually works. Practically, for people who successfully rebuild direction after retirement, they choose contribution over consumption. The retirees who thrive are not the ones who found the best hobbies. They're the ones who found somewhere to give mentoring, volunteering, teaching, building, and creating. Contribution feeds the brain in a way that consumption simply cannot. They rebuild structure deliberately, not rigidly, but intentionally. 3 to 4 anchoring commitments per week. That requires their presence, their effort, their specific set of skills. Structure is not the enemy of freedom. Structure is what makes freedom feel meaningful. They redefine identity at the values level, not the title level. Instead of "I was a manager," try "I am someone who helps others find clarity." Those values, they don't retire. They just need a new vehicle. And finally, the most important thing I can leave you with today. The direction you're looking for in retirement is not out there somewhere, waiting to be discovered. It is already inside you in the values you held before the job gave them a name, and the person you were before the title gave you an identity. Retirement is not the end of your direction. It is the first time in decades that your direction belongs entirely to you. Thank you for joining me. Just a reminder as we close, the scenarios and examples we discussed today are generalized composites to ensure the privacy of individuals and are intended strictly for educational use. If you are facing a specific mental health, legal, or financial crisis, please consult with a qualified professional in your local area to get the support you deserve. Next video recommendation: why sitting at home all day slowly affects your mental health after retirement.